I want to do something that I haven't done ever on this channel, I think, which is a Q&A. So I asked you guys to send me your questions, and you did. First question is from Michael Williams. He asks, when you're working on a project, how do you know exactly when it's a finished product and ready to be released? For example, I'm working on a story, but I feel like I've edited and re-edited it so many times, and I feel like I'm never satisfied with it. How do you know you've reached that point when you can say it's okay, this is good enough to be released to the public now? This is one of those things where I think it's important for anyone creating content to go through that experience of having a vision that was too big and attempting and failing at stuff that's too big so that you know what your limitation is. Everyone has limits, every project has limits, but you're gonna have to figure out what those are basically by failing, basically by doing what you're doing now, which is trying to make stuff. And honestly, there are gonna be times when you think that you can complete something and you just won't be able to. And from those experiences, you're gonna learn your limit. You're gonna learn, okay, maybe I'm not the guy who can complete a 600-page epic. Maybe I should settle for a 60-page epic. And once you're able to do the 60-page one, then you're gonna know that's your limit. I went through that same thing in college, when I attempted to make a webcomic called Nadia, that its scope was too grand. Like, I couldn't even finish it now. But I learned a lot from Nadia. I learned what my limitations were. Hi, my name is Jewel. Asks, do you have a video where you talk a bit about how you do your animations? Thanks. I have maybe one or two. I'll link them in the show notes. I also did an interview with Green Label about how I did the hip hop RPG animation stuff. Hope that helps. I'll probably make a bigger video later on, a tutorial or something. But I feel like I don't even understand my process enough at this point to give you a good answer on that one. Israel Does Life asks, what are you hoping for in 2016? What are you looking forward to? Happy New Year, by the way, everybody. What are you looking forward to experiencing personally in the coming year? I'm hoping to learn how to have more of a work-life balance and enjoy myself a little more and not be as much of a workaholic, but it's a fine line, because if you don't work, you don't get anything done. What am I looking forward to personally? I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with this content, honestly seeing how you guys react to this, seeing this channel grow more, seeing what I can do with some of the newer art ideas that I have. I have some cool mixed media animated portraiture ideas coming up that I'm working on, so I'm excited for that. Yannick asks, what was your favorite music album of 2015 and why? To Pimp a Butterfly. You know why. I've talked about this so much. It's a great album. It's different. It's bold. Kendrick took so many risks in it, and it's inspirational. Musically, it just sounds good. And I love to Pimp a Butterfly. Panic Hippie asks, what's one piece of art, music, etc., etc., that changed your life dramatically, or at least your outlook on life? I'll say the first thing I thought of when I saw this question was one book, The Gunslinger, by Stephen King. When I was probably 12, maybe 11. I was in the 6th grade, and my brother was in the 7th or 8th grade, and he burst into the room, and he's holding The Gunslinger by Stephen King, and he's like, this book is incredible. It's about a guy who's like this super badass cowboy knight, and he goes into a town and kills everybody. And he goes into detail about the violence and the craziness in this book, and there's something about that, and I can see now that that was my start of liking Stephen King's stories and realizing that his literature has always made me feel probably less alone in some ways, kind of like, okay, there's books for weirdos. It made me start, it's like through that I learned that the horror genre is for me. It's like it made me love books. So yeah. A random player asks, favorite movie soundtrack. It's tough. It's tough. If I had to choose one, I really have to think about this one. Once I choose one, I'm gonna hate that choice. I'm gonna want to choose something else. But my first thought is maybe Inception. No. See, I think of Hans Zimmer, Ennio Morricone, John Williams, obviously Star Wars, like Johnny Greenwood from There Will Be Blood. I can name a lot of them. So maybe like I'm gonna say Johnny Greenwood's soundtrack for There Will Be Blood. But the other ones, I mean, that list I gave you, there's a bunch of other ones. Thanks you guys for posting these questions. I hope that you can see me and that the lighting is good enough now. But it gets dark at 5:30 where I live now, which is shitty, and I can't wait for that to change. But go watch Hip Hop RPG. Let me know what you thought about this question and answer format, and I have a question for you. Yeah, you weren't expecting that. That's how I'll end these question and answer videos. My question for you is Israel's question. I'll ask a simple question right back to you, which is it's kind of loaded as well. What are you hoping for in 2016? What are you looking forward to experience personally or in your work life in the coming year? Let me know in the comment section. I read all the comments. Follow me on Twitter, all that stuff. Okay.